how did it develop from there? And from then, you basically, he was with you, and as you grew up and presumably became a teenager and started reading, I don't know, when did you find out what kind of an Indian he was in the first place? Sort of, did you read up for it? Or?
Yeah, he's just prompting me here, reminding me. He said it was when I was around 8, 9 years old that he decided that it was time to tell me who I was, to remind me of why I was here in the first place. And that was not necessarily solely because of him, solely because of his work, but certainly because we two are one. That was part and parcel of what it was, why I was here. So about 8, 9 years old, things began to change. I began to spend more time in the spirit world, still believing that the two worlds was the same world, not realizing that you know, that everybody just lived in the world that was mommy and daddy and brothers and sisters. I thought that everybody had this experience where they had two things going at the same time, two stories running at the same time. So the story began to change when I was about 8 or 9. And that's when he began to dress in Lakota dress. That's when he began to speak Lakota more. That's when he says to me now, he's saying, that's when I began to speak to the grandfathers. So he began to speak to the grandfathers and the powers of the universe. And they spoke back to him and showed us pictures of what it was that the two of us would do together in the world as one picture.
It sure sounds like it was very planned and meticulously executed, because, you know, he intervened, or, you know, was close to you at a time. 8 or 9 is when usually the ego kicks in. We start developing our own personality and take on assumed personalities. So what was the two of you planned to do? I mean, I know he had a big vision and a dream about peace and unity in the world.
Yeah.
And I suspect that you were a part of that too.
That's right. When I was 8, 9 years old, at that time it was meticulous. It was very well designed around my age, my spiritual and my mental and my emotional maturity development and my sexual development. So everything in my life, even the number of people in my family, which was 7, everything in my life was designed to wake me up to this story between Black Elk and I. And at 8, 9 years old, he began to show me parts of his life, the vision that he had when he was 9 years old. In particular, the flaming teepee, which is a very important part of his vision, a teepee that was on fire with the spirit, with 6 grandfathers inside it. And he showed me that. He showed me several things, several visions. But mostly he was very orientated towards my happiness and my development emotionally, especially with my nervous system. So he would tell me about myself, about how special I was, how good I was, that I was a good little girl, that I was loved. He would talk about difficulties in my life, and he would help me to see them with a positive viewpoint. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he was kind of like pouring healing balm over everything that was going on with me in my life. So of course I had a lot of difficulties. I was slightly autistic. And so it was difficult for me to interact with the physical world, and he helped me with that as well.